Okay, D2. We're not talking about D4. Ah! We are talking about D4. We're not talking about D2. Okay, D4 is in shambles. Why? Well, we know why. But you're still allowed to enjoy the game. And this is the problem. The problem is that the people who are like vocally mad about D4 are taking over and silencing the people that are enjoying the game. It's not a bad thing to enjoy the game, and it's not a bad thing to be upset about the direction of the game. But I think it's bad to shit on other people's fun because these people paid for it and they are enjoying it, so just let them be. Like, it must be so annoying, and yes, it is actually annoying because I experience it nonstop. People just harassing you in your DMs, like, how dare you play this game? This game makes me sick. Why is a game making you sick? It's a game. You don't have to play it. You don't have to be around it, but we need to address that there are a lot of flaws. And that's okay. It's a Blizzard game. We're used to this. Like, when Diablo 2 came out, it was not perfect. I mean, I was probably still in diapers when it came out. No, I was not. I mean, I couldn't speak when it came out. So, I don't know what it was like other than what people have told me. But there was a lot of mistakes and a lot of things, but people weren't this angry. And then, yes, when Diablo 3 came out, I also didn't really pay attention to that. But people were angry, and the people that were most angry didn't really come back to it, which is fine. They don't have to, no one's forcing them to. But there are still many people that enjoyed D3, and it brought in new players, whereas the D2 people kind of stuck with D2. And there's a lot of things about D2 that make it amazing, but it isn't a perfect game if you really think about it. There's a lot of things missing. So why are D2 players much more in love with D2 than they were D4? Well, let's get into it. Also, I'm not going to talk about D3. In comparing the two games, which I don't think they should be compared, I think the things that are missing in D4 are the things that people who play D2 really would like to see in the game, which I agree that would make it a lot better. So the loot feels excessive, especially compared to D2. There's like D2, there's much less loot, but like you know when you got something good. In D4, there's like rares on rares on rares, and you have to sift through it all, which because we have no loot filter, and this is where a loot filter would be really good for this game. And like you have to read all the affixes, and you have to like make sure it's all good. And it can get tedious, especially if you're running quick runs with a friend or just you're trying to be fast. And then it's also lacking that like reward factor. Like the super uniques are too hard to get, and there's a lot of like useless uniques in the game, which D2 also has a lot of useless uniques in the game. There was super uniques in D2 that were like the holy grail item, but there was also like really good uniques that did things that were useful, like a Shaco, but like the Shaco in D4 is impossible to get. Because of this lack of reward with drops, people are getting bored. Like, they're not getting their dopamine hit. They're not getting that, like, adrenaline rush, like D2, like, I just found a bear room, like, blah, blah, blah. Or I just got a Shaco and it's the day 2 of the ladder start. Like, D2, you are grinding the same thing over and over again because the end game wasn't really there. But there was the drops that really felt like you got something good. But in D4, we're farming the same thing over and over again. And we're sifting and sifting and sifting. And it's like, oh, I finally got something that like rolled all 4 good affixes. Or like, oh, I got 3 good affixes. I can re-roll this one. And then you hit re-roll, and re-roll, 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 re-roll. So that's where it's just like, it's missing the mark. But I'm not discrediting this because I am still enjoying D4, but now I'm starting to like get a little bit burnt out, or I just want to play something new. I do personally feel like both like D2 and D4 are kind of like at a halt. D2 kind of just got thrown on the back burner because of D4, which really sucks, and this season, the current season of D2 started in May. It is now September, so that's a long time. And they're not supposed to be this long. But then now, because of D4, like, are they going to release new content? I don't know. Another thing that kept D2 players going was the fact that you can trade everything. And not being able to trade in everything in D4 is turning people away. Not being able to trade everything is good because it keeps botters away and prevents like that external market happening like it did in D2. But it also prevents you from being able to like really help a friend out and stuff. And like a lot of people, like, they love sharing items with friends, and like it brings a bigger community if you're able to trade with each other. Things that I think could improve in Diablo 4 and why I think it's not performing as well as it should have with the Diablo 2 community. I can't speak for everyone, but I can speak for my friends who have given me feedback on their thoughts about the game. And like, yes, there's a lot of them that are enjoying the game, and a lot of them are not comparing D2 and D4, which is great. They're different games. So there's like that, I wish that this was in the game. I wish that this was in the game. That would give them more longevity of the game and stuff. Now, D4, amazing campaign. The cutscenes, amazing story. They've always done that really well. The thing that Blizzard has always struggled with is the end game. It's always the same repetitive stuff, which eventually you can't add like a million things in an end game. It lacks that reward so that people don't get bored, and it's the same thing that's over again. Like, if there was eventually, no one wants to do a Helltide anymore. They just want to level up their glyphs. But to level up your glyphs, you just have to spam Nightmare Dungeons all the time. And I get it. I don't know if there could be another way to level up the glyphs in the game, but it's that overly repetitive, and some of the dungeons are just so horrible and so tedious and annoying. I personally feel like that is something that Blizzard has always slacked on, and I feel like they funnel all of their main everything into the art. And yes, like, D4 is an amazingly beautiful game. I personally think it blows D3 out of the water. Like, the art, the style, it's so tied in well together. It looks great. I don't want anyone to feel they're not allowed to enjoy the game, because they're more than welcome to. And like, as I said, I'm still enjoying the game. I'm just not grinding it as much as before, which is fine because I don't want to get burnt out. Like, I do want to be able to go into season 2 with fresh and ready to play, you know? But like I said in my previous video, Blizzard just keeps implementing bug fixes as season features. It's not going to be good. But maybe this game was released too early. I know that they wanted to hit that June 6th for the 6/6. Maybe in the future, this game will be amazing and there's going to be so much. It took a D3 a while for people to actually enjoy it. So I still hope and think that it'll be good, but it's kind of nuts how over the weekend launch of D4, it was huge on like Twitch, for example, and Kick. The viewership was there. It was super high. And the amount that it dropped in viewership, Diablo 2 and Diablo 3 sometimes hit higher viewers than Diablo 4 on Twitch. And that's really bad. Like, that's really, really bad. So I don't know if their future implementation of new features and fixes and all whatever they're planning will bring a lot of those players back that are done. We'll see. I personally think that a lot of people are done with Blizzard. They're a huge company and they're acting like they're not. But we'll see. I don't know if this video even makes sense. I just really wanted to rant about this. And if you are still enjoying the game, please continue to do so, because you're allowed and that is your prerogative. If you're not enjoying the game, that's fine too. You're also allowed. But don't shit on other people who are enjoying the game. And people who are enjoying the game, don't shit on people who don't want to enjoy the game. And just let everyone live happy with unicorn butts and rainbows. Anyway, thanks for watching my video. Let me know what you think in the comments. Am I a lunatic? Or are you a lunatic?